Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. It has been a crazy trade deadline, Tony. What's the best trade you've ever made?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I would say trading away Reale for a home studio. I mean, I love Reale. I didn't want to let him go.
Mean.
But, you know, I got to consider
mean.
my family. You know what I mean? Isn't that what Kyrie says? You got to consider your family.
Picks?
So that's what I
get any picks or pick swaps? Any of that?
No, well, we got a third rounder for Reale and a studio. I mean, I thought that was good. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Nets start over, the Lakers send away Russell Westbrook, and Troy Aikman joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with a massive realignment in the NBA, and we will concentrate first on Kevin Durant going to Phoenix in the middle of the night. Wilbon, what does getting Durant do for your son's title chances?
Tony, it wasn't that late. Didn't I text you? I tried to wake you up. It was about 11 o'clock out here, maybe a quarter past, when the news comes on and Woj comes on saying it is a breaking news logo. And behind me, as I sit here in the desert, you might not notice that there's no fault lines running underneath us. None. This is not Southern California. This is Arizona. But yet, Tony, it feels like the earth moved. It feels like there was a rumbling when the news came down that Kevin Durant will be playing here in Arizona. It's the biggest trade for the Suns since Charles Barkley was acquired by the Suns like 31, 32 years ago. I guess 32 years ago. Anyway, they traded, Jerry Colangelo traded a ham sandwich. He got Charles Barkley, and they went to the finals for only the second time in club history. Now Kevin Durant comes. It's an owner who walked in and in 12 hours said, I'm making a difference. We're going for it now, right now. And so you assemble Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, presto, you are now in Vegas's head as they declare you at least the number 2 team in terms of odds to win the NBA championship. It ought to be, on paper, a great team with unselfish people, no egomaniacs like the one who was dealt to Dallas, no guys who don't want to play and don't want to play with each other. That's what it looks like early. We got to wait a couple of weeks, but Tony, I can't wait to see it.
All right, I'm going to be declarative here, and if I'm wrong down the road, I will own the fact that I am wrong. But right here, right now, the Phoenix Suns should win the NBA championship. Right here, right now, they're the best team in the league. They just got, when you get Kevin Durant, okay, you're getting a guy, he's not going to have any chemistry problems. He showed this in Golden State. He is not a slacker. He is not a ball hog. He doesn't have a particular agenda. I think he's the best player in basketball, but I'll listen to people who want to say it's Doncic or Jokic or Antetokounmpo, but he's in there, and certainly he has been the best player in basketball. He joins a team, as you say, with a crafty veteran point guard who has no ego issues, with a really great scorer off the ball, and a good big man. I don't know what else you need. What I'm saying to you, Mike, is that nobody's got what Phoenix got. Now, there are potential problems here. Durant gets hurt a lot. Booker gets hurt a lot. Chris Paul gets hurt all the time, especially in the playoffs, and Ayton doesn't talk to anybody. Those are real-world problems. But if they are healthy in May and June, they should win this thing, Mike. This is not an experiment. The Nets were an experiment. This is adding a great player to an established team.
And remember real quickly that Durant, and people say, wait a minute, Durant doesn't own this, isn't it? Durant doesn't have to do more when he comes here, Tony, because when he went to Golden State, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala handled anything else. They handled the culture of the situation. You've got Paul and Booker here already. They're not looking to bring Kevin Durant in to do something he's never done. He has played with star players. He knows how to do it. And he may be, again, the brightest star himself by the time we get to the playoffs. Again, Tone, one of the great players of all time. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait. The story isn't just the team Durant is joining here in the desert, but the one he's leaving along I-95. The Nets now have none of the big 3 they started last season with. Durant's in Phoenix, Kyrie's in Dallas. James Harden, of course, is in Philly. Tony, how are you going to remember the Nets' attempt at fielding a super team?
Yeah, I'm going to remember it as a big swing, giant swing, and a giant miss, and as a cautionary tale. They put these 3 guys together, and they played a total of 16 games together. 16. They were 13-3 in those games. But they didn't play 97 games, right? They weren't out there. They won one playoff series. That's all that happened. I mean, here's actually how I look at this. That the owner of that team and the general manager of that team committed a sin of pride. They thought they could buy a championship instantly by assembling these great talents, and they didn't really vet the situation in the way they should have. Now, they couldn't have known that James Harden would get so fed up with it that in a calendar year he would say, "Get me out of here." And they couldn't have known that Kevin Durant would be hurt a lot. They should have suspected that something unsettling could have happened around Kyrie Irving, but they could not have known, Mike, that he would refuse to take the vaccine and wouldn't play in all of the home games. They couldn't have known all of that. But the circumstance that we see here is they reached for the sun and they got burned. It's the Icarus final solution, that it's all wax and feathers. And I'm not sure, Mike, that the owner and the general manager will have any chance to be good in that situation again.
Well, they might. They got all these players who can help. The question is, can they either lure a superstar, draft somebody who is sort of lower and becomes a star? That does happen in this league. But Tony, I agree with everything you said. But here's the one thing I don't understand. They should have anticipated Kyrie Irving being toxic because he's been that. They're not paying attention. He could have been in Cleveland. He didn't want to stay there with LeBron James. That would make me suspicious of you. We saw what he did in Boston. He lied. He was a fraud. That makes me suspicious of you. We saw his behavior in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They could have gotten rid of him earlier, maybe gotten more. You should know that Kyrie Irving can't be counted on. You should know that. So I'm not giving a pass to anybody, executive, owner, teammate, whatever. You know what Kyrie Irving is. He's a great basketball player when he feels like it, which is not all the time. That's the deal.
No, you're right.
And that blew them up. And that's such a failure for
that
this
team.
group. Wow.
He blew up that team, and then he blew up the league. It started a chain reaction. We moved.
Yeah.
The Durant trade was the biggest move of the day, but we had others. Among them, the Lakers sent away Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley, your boy, and got back D'Angelo Russell and Mo Bamba. The Warriors traded away James Wiseman, but traded for Gary Payton II. The Sixers dealt away Matisse Thybulle. The Grizzlies got shooter Luke Kennard. The Bucks landed Jay Crowder, and John Wall is gone from the Clippers, back on the Rockets, who will reportedly waive it. Wilbon, where do you want to start?
All right, Tony, I have some notes here because that thing struck me. The Lakers are better. The Los Angeles Lakers made themselves better. And I'm not going to sit up here and disparage Russ like a lot of people. They got D'Angelo Russell and they got Malik Beasley, who can do the things that LeBron James needs really good players to do on the floor. These aren't 10-day contract people. These aren't two-way guys. These are pros. They know how to play. D'Angelo Russell had to go away from Los Angeles and really sort of just learn how to grow up or just grow up. And now he's coming back. And Jared Vanderbilt, Pat Bev, Russell Westbrook, Thomas Bryant. I'm a little surprised they got rid of him. But I think the Lakers made themselves better. How much better? Make the playoffs better. Does it mean they're going to use these guys and vault into the top 5 in the West? No, it doesn't mean that. I think that the Grizzlies got better by getting Luke Kennard, who can really shoot it. I think the Golden State got better by getting Gary Payton II back, the guy they never should have let go. And letting Wiseman go, wow, what an admission. But every team makes mistakes in the draft, even that high up, even Golden State. So, Tony, those are some of my initial notes.
Yeah, I think the Lakers got better also. I think that they will have a chance to win because they'll actually make the playoffs. But you know who got much more better? Phoenix. And they're not going to be Phoenix. Okay, what the Lakers needed was Kyrie Irving. Dallas doesn't need Kyrie Irving. The Lakers needed Kyrie Irving. And short of getting him, there's a ceiling on them compared to these other teams. I want to take about 20 seconds to say this about Russell Westbrook. I lament that Russell Westbrook had a terrible time with the Lakers and that he had to go. I watched him in Washington. He comes to play every night, and he wants to play every night. It may be his destiny, Mike, because he's going to go to the Hall of Fame, but it may be his destiny to be a big numbers producer on a mediocre team. So be it if that's it. But I admire the effort, and I find myself rooting for Westbrook. I do. Let's take a break.
Amen.
Coming up, we will ask Troy Aikman whether he expects Patrick Mahomes to be running from the defense again on Sunday.
We'll also ask him which way he's leaning in picking the game itself. Tony, I'm with you on Westbrook. I
John
just hope he
Wall.
winds up. I keep thinking Miami.
John Wall, back in Houston where they're going to waive him. Worst contract in the history of sports.
Unbelievable.
They paid him not to play a couple of years ago. What happened to this guy?
I know. I like John Wall.